Okay. Just waiting for our Zoom to kick in, I think. There we go. Perfect. Okay, well, thank you everybody for making it happen. I will hereby call the council meeting for February 3rd to order. I will start by taking attendance. It's evident we're all here 100% in person, on time and ready to go. So thank you very much. Before we make a motion for the adoption of the agenda, I just want to say thank you to Councillor Patrick for stepping in as deputy mayor for our last council meeting. The seat's still hot, I think, because we were here for about 15 hours. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you very much for stepping up to do that. I will, we do have an emergent item, which is 9.1. Councillor Hughes will put forward a motion when we get there. So I'd ask for Councillor to put forward the adoption of the agenda as amended this morning. And Councillor Mackay.
Good morning. Thank you very much. That February 3rd, 2026 agenda be adopted as amended.
And we'll go to vote, please.
I didn't follow your exact wording.
Wonderful. That motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. We do have just as a reminder, we are going to proceed with the public hearing this morning. We'll begin at 10 o'clock, promptly at 10 o'clock. I don't believe there are any presentation delegations or announcements, and thereby no business arising from that. So we will move forward with asking for a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented as well. Councillor Bermansky.
That the recommendations in the following agenda reports be approved. 6.1 regular council meetings of January 27th, 2026.
Thank you very much. And we can move that to a vote as well. Perfect. That motion passed unanimously as well. And maybe ask Mr. Fletcher if you believe we would get through the advisory committee annual report.
Yeah, I believe there's sufficient time, Mayor, and I know that the chair is ready to go.
That sounds great. So I would invite, I believe it's Sharon Brown down to present, and I think Lori Jack is with her as well. 5 minutes.
Yeah, in this case, Mayor, that there's no real time limit because it's a presentation to council.
Thank you very much for joining us. You do have 10 minutes to present, and then it'll allow us to open up. Oh, there's no time limit on. Okay, perfect.
That's correct. It's a presentation.
I'll just remind you, we do have the public hearing starting at 10. So if we do get close to that, I'll have to cut you off, but we can resume.
Correct. Everything that I have is what you have. I thought if you had any questions, I would be here for you. And also I did want to mention, as you notice, page 2, where the new priorities for 2026 have been set by the new committee. I think our chair is on Zoom. Lori, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
I would ask Lori if she would like to expand a little bit in regards.
Good morning, Mayor Scott Olivier and Council. We have set priorities for 2026. And our priorities include reviewing the nomination criteria and process for the Senior Service Award. The second one is to discover additional opportunities for community engagement.
Sorry, Lori, we're just going to interrupt for one quick second. We're just going to check the audio here because we're having, I think, a little bit of a challenge hearing you. Just bear with us for 1 second if you don't mind.
Certainly.
Yeah, we can turn the audio up on this
Yeah.
end. That's about all we can do.
And if there's a way to adjust your microphone volume on your end, that might help us as well.
Can you hear me now?
Little better.
A little bit better.
How is my volume now?
Yeah, if that's as high as it goes,
Yes, it is.
okay, you can, we'll listen intently for sure.
I'm sorry for that. The priorities for our Senior Advisory Committee for 2026. The first one includes reviewing the nomination criteria and process for the Senior Service Award. The second one is discovering additional opportunities for community engagement. The third priority is connect with city departments and other advisory committees. And the fourth priority for this year is increasing advisement to council from a senior's lens, referencing the community vision and pillars of sustainability for decisions. Are there any questions regarding any of the priorities for this coming year?
Not at this time, Laurie, but if you want to, we'll go through any questions once the presentation is concluded.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, my apologies. I thought we were continuing. Is that everything, just to confirm, Laurie?
Those are the four priorities that we set for this coming year.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you very much. I do believe we have some questions. We'll start with Councillor Hughes.
Hi, thanks for coming. First of all, Sharon, I didn't realize that you're leaving as of this year, so thank you for all the time you put into this. You've been here quite a while, and I just wanted to acknowledge
Yes.
that. And I just want to acknowledge, thank you for all the work you've done for this. And to Laurie as well, thank you. I know you've been there when I was there before, and thank you for taking over that role. I don't know if you have this answer or not, but I'm assuming that you might, just because of the timing for the Seniors Awards. Is there, and you may not have this question, but our admin behind you might. Are we changing anything as far as it goes for advertising and reach out to bring awareness to it? Or are we going to be doing the same as last year?
Again, maybe Lori could answer that better in regards to her being the new chair.
Sure.
Councillor Sheena,
Hi.
I would actually like to defer that question to our staff liaison, Tricia Boonstra, because she has been more involved with the advertising and marketing than I have been. Thanks, Tricia.
Thanks, Laurie. Yes, we will be, because we had 11 nominations, which was our goal, and it was pretty successful. So we are doing some of the similar tactics.
Are you expanding it at all, or is the intention just to do a duplicate? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we're gonna do the same.
Okay.
Yeah, there's multiple tactics we're using. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's it.
If that's all,
I think that's all for questions. And again, thank you very much for everything you've done and coming here this morning to present. So we certainly appreciate it. And thank you very much, Laurie, for participating as well. Have a wonderful day.
You're welcome.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we may have time to get through the council motion on 9.1, or at least start it. Rather than taking a recess for 20 minutes. So we'll move to 9.1, which is a councillor motion regarding, well, there's two motions. One is to pass the 20-day waiting period, and then we'll get into the actual motion, but I'll move it to Councillor Hughes to go forward. Thank you.
Sure. I would be surprised if we were still talking about this after 20 minutes. So I think we'll be okay. fascinating as it is, though. So the first motion is to waive it. So it's that the following notice of motion be debated on the February 3rd, 2026 regular meeting of council, and that the 20-day notice period requirement in section 119.9 of the procedure bylaw be waived.
Wonderful. Just to provide some context before I accept the motion, the reason to bypass this for everybody's awareness is that provided this passes with the supermajority of 5 out of 7, and then in the event that the actual motion passes, this advisory group and committee would start as early as tomorrow. If I can't attend the meeting tomorrow, the first one would start on there is a follow-up one on February 10th, and then the schedule would continue thereafter. So that was the reason for the urgency to try to move it through faster than the 20-day waiting period. So unless there's any other questions for administration, which we can take now.
Yeah, do you want me just to open just really quickly on this? I think that, thank you for explaining
Yep.
the rationale behind this. And I just think that if he's going to move forward and join, we have to give him the opportunity to take the full amount of the value in there and not wait just to make a decision. So that's the intention behind this. And I do realize it's very last minute, but sometimes that's how opportunities present themselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there's no additional questions, we can move that to a vote. Thank you. That motion passed unanimously. So now we can move to the second part of the council motion from Councillor Hughes.
That the mayor be permitted to join Just for Chairs for 2026 as representative of the City of St. Albert, and that up to $5,000 be approved from stabilization reserve for registration fees and incidental costs.
Thank you very much. Before we accept that, is there any questions for administration? I do have one. Briefed him earlier, maybe just for the new councillors, myself included, if you, administration could explain, have there been committees or opportunities like this in the past with either the mayor or council to join? And if so, do we have a rough idea on what maybe we have committed to for funding for that?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think, certainly former members of council will know that I think this has been done on a few occasions. I know we've had a council represent on CUDA, the Canadian Urban Transit Association. The previous mayor represented St. Albert on the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and some other venues. So this is not a new paradigm by any stretch of the imagination. And generally, it was in the $5,000 to $10,000 mark.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. If there's no, I don't see any in the queue. So, sorry, Councillor Cortash.
Thank you. Yeah, just because I'm not aware either. So each member of council has a development and training budget, I think. So is this is in addition to that or separate from that? What is the development and training budget for each member of council?
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I
don't
apologize. We
know.
can certainly source it, but the development and training budget again is designed to enable the professional development and the outreach of each counselor, right? And so kind of up to you to figure out how you want to use it. This is above and beyond that. That budget is sort of insufficient to deal with this. That wasn't the original intent.
That was going to be my next question, was is this more than what that budget is? I'm assuming that's why the motion's coming forward. Thank you.
Councillor Clark?
And I'm pretty sure I know this answer, but this is a annual fee. So is this a one-time or is this something that will be readdressed next year?
I would defer to the mayor on
Yeah,
that.
thanks for the question. This is an annual fee. I can talk more specifics on the details of kind of what I prepared, but it is an annual fee. And I think it'd be fair to say we'll reassess after the first year to see if it's beneficial to move forward, to continue it years going forward as well. And you can continue with your questions.
Just one other question. The meetings that are scheduled, I think it was indicated there's 4. Do you know what days? Are those random?
There are 4, there's actually 7 scheduled meetings, 4 of which are, I believe all 7 are virtually online for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And then there is an immersive 2-day retreat in October, and that's all included in the cost that we're talking about. The first 4 are scheduled. I can get you those dates. I can pull that up when we get into it. The next 3 have not been determined yet, but they will because they incorporate speakers that come in, and they need to coordinate those dates for that.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think there's any other questions, so we can move that to a debate.
Sure, thank you. So when the mayor presented this and he mentioned it to me and I thought this would be worthwhile. It's the Just for Chairs is, from what I understand, it's just training to help you actually become a better chair. And I'm appreciative that the mayor, who's a new in the position, wants to do the most he can to try to improve himself to be the best chair he can be, both for the benefit of council and for the whole city. Yes, it's not a small amount of money, but at the same time, it's an investment. We're at the beginning of our term, so this is an investment that has the potential to pay off for years to come. It is only a 1-year commitment. We are not committing him for the full term. So in the event that he goes through it and says he didn't get the benefit that he thinks to, or just that he's achieved everything he need to from this one session in multiple years, we can just stop it. It'll be a year-by-year basis. As far as the learning and development budget goes, I believe the mayor has a larger one. However, so to Councilor Cordash, the challenge is that that budget is to also include all conferences, any other type of courses you want to take as well. So once you put in all of the other types of things that are obligatory, that dwindles very quickly, and that's where it would exceed the budget, not in a budget per se, but because of other commitments. If there's expectations for him to attend FCM, to attend AUMA, that kind of thing, suddenly that money goes down pretty quickly. So the other ones, when you move forward and have a separate committee, as Mr. Fletcher mentioned, it has not been unusual to do that where a member of FCM remember other items, and then there's just a cost associated with that. So I recognize that this is the first time that a chair is asked to do this, but I also recognize that if he thinks that there's going to be value in this, and from what I understand, the rest of council can also participate in these virtual meetings. So it's not just one, it actually could be beneficial for the entire council if we so chose to partake in it as well. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mackay?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to make comment that I support this. And the only request that I would ask is that you, as with all committee members, you just provide a report back so that we can all benefit, so that it's not musical chairs, just for chairs.
Thank you very much. Is there, if there's no other councillor comment, the information I did prepare just to provide a little bit more clarity outside of the costs associated. The background on this is Just for Chairs is by invite only. There's approximately 80 leaders from across the country that participate in this. To clarify, Councillor Hughes, if there is an opportunity to bring councillors to these virtual meetings, I absolutely would be happy to do that. I think it's extremely beneficial. The other side of it is we often chair or are participating in other civic committees as well. And I think there's any information that can be taken from that can be brought back would certainly be done, and I think beneficial to all of us. And its focus is, primarily around best practices in governance, board work, and how we can take that. Now, the diversity across this, I would be one of few probably elected officials that would sit in this, but there are other government organizations, public and private sector individuals, as well as nonprofits that sit on this Just for Chairs advisory group. So other than that, I appreciate Councillor Hughes for bringing this motion forward. I thank everybody for their support, and I believe if there's no other questions or comments, I'll give it one more second. We could.
I have nothing further in debate. Thank you.
Oh yeah, to close, and there's nothing further. Perfect. Thank you very much. We can move it to vote. Thank you very much. That motion passed unanimously. I sincerely appreciate it. So we will take maybe an 11-minute recess here before we move into our public hearing, which will start promptly at 10 o'clock.
So that just.
We're gonna get going here to promptly start at 10 a.m. Marta, I think we need a countdown on that. Yeah. Sheena's early. This is great. Okay, that's the most anticlimactic start to a public hearing, but I hereby open the public hearing concerning bylaw /2026 regarding the Riverside 2025 redistricting. And is there, I guess this is the councilor's opportunity to declare conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. So if there are any councilors present who wish to declare the conflict of interest or pecuniary interest in respect to this public hearing, you have the opportunity to do so now. Doesn't appear to be any, which is great. For today's public hearing, we will follow the procedures outlined in procedure bylaw 24/2022. First, we will hear from administration, then if necessary, the applicant, and then the public. Council may ask questions after each presenter has the opportunity to speak. The applicant will have up to 10 minutes to speak, and members of the public will have up to 5 minutes to speak. Any written submissions? I don't believe there's not been any that have been received after the stated cutoff time for inclusion in the agenda package may be read into the record verbally by the presenter or their delegate. When there is no further information to share from the public, administration, or the applicant, a motion will be made to close the public hearing. There will be no debate on this matter nor a decision made on this matter until the public hearing is closed. Debate will occur on consideration of a second or third reading of this bylaw, or upon consideration of this matter when it is next considered later in a meeting or on a future date. With that, we will now hear from administration's presentation. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Hi, good morning. My name is Eric Schultz and I'm here from planning and where's my presentation?
Share.
Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. Okay, my name is Eric Schultz and I'm here from Planning and Development to present bylaw 3/2026, which is redistricting in the Riverside neighborhood. No. Okay, just slow. Riverside is a residential neighborhood located in the southwest quadrant of St. Albert. It is bordered by the CN tracks on the north and northeast, the Sturgeon River to the south, and Ray Gibbon Drive to the west and southwest. Bylaw 3/2026 is an amendment to the land use bylaw Schedule A. Schedule A graphically identifies each parcel of land in the city and its current land use district. When there is a change to a district in Schedule A, redistricting occurs. The area to be redistricted is shown here and will be accessed from McKinney Avenue. As shown on the left in gray, the current land use district is Future Urban Development, FUD, which is a holding district until development occurs on the land. This application is proposing to redistrict a total of 26.1 hectares of undeveloped land. Almost 19 hectares of this would be small lot residential, SLR, and another 3 hectares would be laned lot residential, LLR. There's also a future school and park site included in the amendment area, and this will be changing to public, private, and institutional service district. Note that on January 27th, 2026, Council approved bylaw 2/2026, an amendment to the land use bylaw. This amendment changed the short form of the public, private, and institutional service district from PSI to PPI. There's also a minor amendment included with this application proposing changes to land previously districted by bylaw 20/2021. The future subdivision plan for the area shown here, located near Raspberry Park, has changed. In order to ensure Schedule A aligns with this future plan, 19 square meters of small lot residential would be changed to laned lot residential, And 113 square meters of lane lot residential would be changed to small lot residential. The city's municipal development plan, Flourish, shows the proposed amendment areas as neighborhood. Neighborhoods are primarily residential areas typically made up of low-rise housing along with schools, parks, and local shops and services. The Riverside Area Structure Plan shows the area as low-density residential as well as a future school and park site. This application was circulated to internal and external stakeholders, as well as 162 letters were sent to residents and businesses within 100 meters of the proposed redistricting area. No objections or concerns were raised by stakeholders, and no comments were received from the public. In conclusion, the proposed redistricting aligns with the Riverside Area Structure Plan and the city's municipal development plan. Therefore, administration recommends approval of bylaw 3/2026 as presented today. Thank you.
Wow, that was short and sweet. Is there any questions at this time on behalf of council to administration? I think we're going to have some here. Councillor Cortash, you can start.
Thank you very much. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to admin. I understand correctly that the ASP is for low-density residential or identifies low-density residential, and this is primarily to small lot residential, correct?
That is correct.
And could you maybe, there's a lot of going through the land use bylaw, what is the difference between low-density residential and small lot residential? What are the, like a smaller lot, like I noticed is 0.1 hectares versus 0.2, but like what are the key differences between those two land use designations?
Small lot residential, low density residential is typically single detached homes on typical size lots. Small lot residential basically has somewhat of a smaller form, so they can fit more lots into the same area. We could look up the exact land use.
So is it a different style of housing? Is it, zero lot lanes? I think there was reference to that in the land use bylaw for small lot residential. Or are there different style of housing that's allowed under the small lot versus the low density?
Typically, I think the houses are generally the same form. It's really a matter of the lot sizing, and then the lane lot residential would have a
Right.
rear lane to access it.
Yeah, the lane lot is different
Yeah.
animal, but okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Any other questions on behalf of council to admin? Councillor Hughes?
Thank you. So when I'm looking at this, there's no medium at all, right? I'm not missing something, am I? There's no, so everything is either, because the small lot residential's, when I talk to like just the layperson, what they call them is really skinny lots or RSLs. So it's all tight housing is what I'm hearing on this, right? And what would be the width of the lots for small lot residential? Like what's the minimum width? Is it 20 feet?
The minimum width are 9.8 meters for interior lots and 12.7 meters on a corner lot.
Okay, so 9.8, so 27 feet, is that right? Ish?
Ish.
Okay, 27-ish. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm just, and then I guess this is the other question is, we've had feedback about how the neighborhood's changed from the original lot design. Is this a deviation from what was initially planned for I realize that it was initially planned like 2010 and moving forward, so it's only been 16 years. But is it a deviation? And if it is, by how much?
Thank you for the question, Councillor Hughes. So the land use bylaw has been updated and they're in line with the updates that are allowed under the land use bylaw for
Okay.
these districts.
Okay. So with the intention of just simply doing single family housing, that was the intention. So it's in line with it because of that?
So if you go back to by the old land use bylaw, we had R1 and R2, and all those got combined into the small lot residential. district. So there is no actually going back to the larger lots because that is, we agreed that these would be the lot sizes that could go in this type of neighborhoods. And with the lane lots, those are narrow lots, but yet they have to be accessed off the lane so that we don't have just a row of driveways.
Yes, I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out, because so I guess from the comparison from previous sections, is it comparable to what's been done in the most recent previous sections that were approved?
Yes, it is, because you'll see the similar shading
Yeah.
of the tan. So the north part of McKinney has the newer land use bylaw products happening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cortash.
Thanks. I'm gonna say similar question. I just want to make sure I understand this. So was the ASP for Riverside done before the land use bylaw was amended, before the small lot residential? What I'm just trying to understand is so in the ASP, it shows low density residential, which is a different category in the land use bylaw from small lot residential. So was the intention originally to have low density residential or small lot residential in the ASP? Like, to me, the way I'm looking at this, it seems like it has been a change, further to Councillor Hughes' question, from low density to small lot residential. Does that make sense?
It does. And, area structure plans take 15, 20 years to build out, right? And market demands change, our land use bylaw has changed, and so they're keeping pace with those changes. The last amendment to the Riverside Area Structure Plan was May 2025, and so that was after the land use bylaw update that was done in October 2024. I'm not sure that's what you're asking.
And did that last change to the Riverside ASP change this land? No, that didn't, that didn't have any bearing on this. I just looking at the Riverside ASP, it shows low density residential. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is why the change from low density residential to small lot residential. It is changing what was originally envisioned for that neighborhood. I think that's my understanding. Maybe this is a question more to the proponent, but.
Through the mayor, the intent is still to have low density residential. That is the goal of the Riverside ASP and the land use that is associated with low density residential. This is your district that is needed. That's the district that we have to apply for this area as low density. When we look at the most recent changes to the Riverside ASP, where it was, if I remember correctly, it was regarding a multi-family site and some recalibration of how that was laid out. So that is a different, every time we make a change like that to the area structure plan, that's going to be the update. However, the general density, assumed number of units within the area structure plan, all of that has stayed and remained the same. So it's just that configuration of it. And again, remember that while this district is the small lot residential district, those are the minimums that they can put as the lot layout. We often see the lot layouts exceed the minimums, but this is the minimum that they can go down to. Does that help?
I don't think so. I'm sorry. I guess, what's the difference then between, I'll go back to my original question. What's in our land use bylaw, we've got two districts, LDR and SLR. And so was Riverside originally supposed to be LDR and now it's SLR?
Councillor Cortash, those districts are both low density housing. So the density of housing per the area structure plan is low density, whether it's small lot or whether it's the LDR.
I think that's where I'm getting hung up. So so SLR is considered
those are
low
low
density.
density. Medium density, you're talking about like stacked house, town housing or other types of products, like if it's a single family separate building, that is low density. And if I can mention, this area structure plan was actually originally approved before the Edmonton Metropolitan Region 40 unit per net residential hectare growth requirements. So this neighborhood is at 35 dwelling units per hectare. And they are still staying ballpark within that. The last time we've checked, they've been spot on with their densities. So I'm not sure where the questions come as to maybe the perception of density with some of the multifamily along McKinney, but we monitor the density of the built form within the neighborhood, and the developer is meeting the ASP approvals for density.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm just trying to understand the language, when I look at the land use bylaw, the different districts between low density and small lot residential, it looks to me like that they do mean different things, that the low density would tend to be larger lots than the small lot residential. And so to me, it looks like that was a change, but maybe I'm hearing it's not a change from what was originally intended, I guess. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Cortesh. Question, in the changes proposed, has there been any consideration or evaluation to ensure that emergency services or waste management services are not going to be impacted by this development?
That is usually something when we do a subdivision, that we circulate to those departments as well as many others, and they'll tell us if they have any issues. So at this level, the transportation has reviewed the redistricting and they didn't raise any issues. So I would assume all the roads are still within the standards for complete streets.
Okay, and response times doesn't seem to be affected?
Nobody responded on this one about that one, but again, at this time of subdivision, we might get more detail.
Yeah, internal response times broadly across have been mapped out with GIS, and no, this area, it meets the response times mandated.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Any other questions from council towards administration? I don't believe so. Okay. I don't believe, as we noted, there's any publics or the applicant is here to answer any additional questions. I don't believe they are here to present anything. Is that correct? Or would you like to present as well? Sure. Yeah, you can come to the presentation sampling today. Thank you. You will have 10 minutes, and then it'll open up the opportunity to continue if there are questions from council. There should be a button. There you go. You should be live now.
There. Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Bladen Dibben. I'm a planner with Select Engineering. And I'm here representing Genstar with this application. Just thought I'd try and expand upon administration's response there. And I think the confusion is between the ASP versus the land use bylaw. The ASP defines all of the low density area as low density, and that's a mix of single family, semi-detached and townhouse. There's no change proposed with this application for that. Under the land use bylaw, there's the low density residential, the small lot residential, and then the lane lot residential. The low density residential in the ASP includes all three of those districts. And so if you look at the land use bylaw, that low density residential district is mainly in established neighborhoods that are already planned out, and I think maybe gives more certainty to residents that live there already that there's not going to be changes to smaller lots or townhouse. There's a bit less flexibility with that zone. And so in this case here, the area that we are redistricting will have a mix of single family, some larger lots, some smaller lots. There's laned housing with both townhouse and semi-detached, as well as front attached semi-detached as well. So There is a whole mix planned in here, and that will come through the subdivision applications. Hopefully that, I think maybe you already had that answer, but just thought I'd try and clarify. Happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for the clarification. I don't see any other, oh, yeah, no, sorry, Gina's gonna make the. Yeah, I don't believe there are any other questions, so thank you very much for participating. Okay, I don't believe there's anybody else from the public that is looking to speak, so could I get a motion to close the public hearing, please? Thank you. Please, Councillor McKay.
Yeah, thank you. That the public hearing on bylaw 3/2026 be closed.
Thank you. We'll move it to vote. Thank you. That motion passed unanimously. So with that, we will, I'd ask for a motion to, for the first reading. Yes, please, Councillor McKay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That bylaw 3/2026 being amendment 13 to the land use bylaw 18/2024 be read a first time.
And we'll go straight to vote, please. That motion passed unanimously as well. Now we will ask for a motion for second reading.
I can carry on.
You're just on a roll, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the way I walk now. That bylaw 3/2026 be read a second time.
Before we accept the motion, we would open it up to. If
I
there's
don't
any
know if there's
questions,
going to
don't
be
think
any
there is.
comments. If you, I can wait. You know what? I'll make a comment right
Sure.
now. Really, the purpose, as we heard through the questioning and through the presentation by the proponent, really the purpose of this redistricting application is just to enable the ongoing future subdivision of the lands that are currently being in development for the last 10 years and are meeting the requirements under our MDP, but also is meeting kind of the market that we're starting to see and was realized when we amended our recent land use bylaw districts. So kind of what this does is continues to facilitate the different sizes of residential lots that allows a variety of different housing products that we're starting to see the demand for in our community. And it enables us to deal with that kind of that whole concept that we had of providing affordable housing and a variety of housing products in our community. But what's exciting for me is that this will open up another school site. And I think that's important as we start to move forward in our community with the growth. Particularly Riverside, we saw some of the challenges we had when we were just going through the recent K-9 school site with kind of being forced to identify certain areas. Now this will actually open up a second area in Riverside and hopefully will even make the province start to eye opportunities for another school in St. Albert. So I'll end it at that.
Thank you very much. Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be supporting this. I think that residents have been there at the beginning, envisioned a different neighborhood, but I think what they envisioned what was the St. Albert that was before the land use bylaws were changed multiple times to increase the density. I believe that when this was approved initially, the density requirements were 32 units a hectare, or even, it might even be before the first growth plan came in place. And really St. Albert hasn't seen the effects of increasing density to the 32 or to the 40 for the most part. Because development doesn't happen as quickly in St. Albert, the effects of these decisions start coming into play many years later. And so now it's been many years, and now we can see what the results of this character change happens from a land use bylaw perspective. So that's where really skinny lots now become the standard, and they also become the standard at not a lesser price, really. We're not selling them for $200,000 a house. We're still paying $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 for these homes. And people need to recognize that the land use bylaws, when they were changed, they were done under the name of affordability. But if we look at it, housing prices never went down after every single one of these steps. They only continued to climb. So I appreciate the fact that the developer hasn't pushed it past 35 units and hasn't taken advantage of the opportunity to go 40 plus to make that character change even more dramatic. Changing it from 35 to 40 sounds minor, but it actually has a substantial difference onto the character and the landscape and how many multifamilies have to be built, et cetera. So I just appreciate the fact that the neighborhood thought it would be one thing when they first started, and then the land use bylaws have modified that opportunity and changed how it actually ends up being. But as far as being able to work and try to accommodate it, I appreciate the fact that A, they're doing multiple sizes of lots, and B, that they're trying to still accommodate the need for single-family homes, which is a high-demand area. And that's really one of the things that helps keep housing prices more moderate, is to make sure that we actually are meeting the demand. And the demand, while there is multifamily demand, there is still an overwhelming single-family demand. And we're acknowledging that and trying to meet that need. So thank you for that. That's it. Thank you.
Sorry, we're just gonna get clarification on something here from Marta, but. We're just gonna ask, Marta, we're gonna ask to get an amendment to change from PSI to PPI.
So we can just do second reading. This is debate on second reading. We
Okay.
can do that amendment now if we like or later. As planning mentioned in their presentation, the land use bylaw was updated last week and it changed the shorthand form of one of the districts from PSI to PPI. It's the same district, but the bylaw itself, bylaw 3/2026, was drafted before the land use bylaw amendment was approved. So technically speaking, the bylaw that's before you needs a small amendment to just change that reference. So we need somebody to move that amendment. It can either happen now, or we can do vote on second reading first. It's up to the chair's discretion which order we do that in.
We'll just, we'll make a motion for the second reading. We'll amend it after. And this was actually questions for Amin, so we can accept it now and move to debate. And then I don't believe there's gonna be another comment, so we can move it right to vote.
And just from a procedural perspective, clarification. So I mean, if we go to unanimous consent, we can still amend it on the third reading then?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. We can move it to a vote. And that motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Ask for a motion for,
I can give unanimous consent too now. We changed that procedure bylaw, right?
So yes, you may give unanimous consent. However, before we go to unanimous consent, we need somebody to make a motion to amend the bylaw to change that reference from PSI to PPI. So we'll get that motion up on the screen right away for somebody to move.
Councillor Cortash.
I was gonna move that we change all references of PPI to PSI. Is that? No. Other way around,
other way
PSI
around.
to PPI.
You're not blowing up tires.
Thank you very much. I don't believe there's going to be any questions, so we can move that to a vote as well. And that motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Now we need unanimous.
Now you need unanimous. Somebody else can do it if you want. Go ahead.
Move that unanimous consent be given for consideration of third reading of bylaw 3/2026 as amended.
Thank you very much. I'll accept that and we can move that to a vote. Okay, perfect. That motion passed unanimously. Now we can go to third reading.
I can do that.
Thank you.
That bylaw 3/2026 be read a third time as amended.
Thank you very much. I don't believe there's any questions for administration. So we can move it to debate.
Really no debate. Debate happened in a second. I just want to, I drove around the neighborhood yesterday and congratulations to the developer and all the builders. Riverside continues to be one of our great neighborhoods. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other comments. I would maybe echo what Councillor Mackay said. It is a fantastic neighborhood in St. Albert. It's being built out responsibly, which is fantastic. And thank you guys for taking the time to join us today to clarify if there's any questions. So I don't believe there's any other comments, so we can move this to a vote as well. And not surprisingly, that motion passed unanimously, so thank you very much. Okay, we are flying. So is there, we'll go through committee business, or do we want to take we'll maybe take a 5-minute recess, let everybody reset. Yeah.
Sorry, Chair. There's just item 10 on the agenda. It's just the information requests and notices of motion. I do believe we have a couple of information requests to read in, and then I'm happy to just get that done before you move to recess.
Oh, okay, sure. That sounds good.
So I believe there was one from
Yeah.
Councillor Patrick and one from Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, we'll start with Councillor Hughes, please. Thank you.
Sure. Please provide an update on the costs comparing electric buses to diesel buses, including capital and operating, and including maintenance and repairs and expected lifespan and costs, and any other considerations like winter performance and distance traveling before requiring to be charged or refueled. I'm just looking for it from, now that we have more experience and data in it, that we just kind of get a conglomeration of a summary of that report. I don't know if that was intended to be, I know I'm talking a bit longer, Mayor, but I don't know if there was a report intended to come that already provided this information. And if there was, then I can withdraw it, but I was assuming there wasn't.
You are correct. No, we hadn't, we do have the data. We could certainly pull that together for you, Councillor Hughes. Yeah.
Sure. I had some residents ask me about it, so I realized it was a bit more than a CI, so I thought we'd do it this way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Patrick.
In light of recent changes to the courthouse parking lot accessibility and impending St. Anne Street construction, could administration provide information regarding the operational and financial implications that might be associated with adding parking along St. Anne Street? Specifically, this should include the opportunity of converting the outer southbound lane to accessible parking and drop-off zones in front of St. Albert Place, and could also examine the potential more broadly for adding parking lanes along both sides of the street.
Thank you very much.
I believe that's it, Mayor.
Yep, perfect. We're kind of pretty close to wrapping it up. Yeah, I'd ask for maybe a motion that we move in camera. And, Councillor Clark?
The council move in camera to have a confidential dialogue with the chief administrative officer pursuant to section 29(1)A of the Access to Information Act.
Thank you very much. I'll accept that motion. We go to vote, please. That motion passed unanimously, so we will move to in camera, and I don't believe there'll be anything that'll come out of that after, so we should be fine to wrap it up from there. Thank you very much.